Hello guys, and welcome to day 4 of this full stack modern hospital management system. So in day 3 of this project, we looked at this dashboard here for the patient and what patient should interact with. So we built these charts here and also this treatment listing here. We also looked at the booking part of this application, like how the patient can book for a doctor appointment. So in today's video, we'll be building the module for reception and we'll be building this page here. We will look at what reception should interact with. First thing is that reception should see all patients listed here. So another thing is that the reception should be able to search patient by admission number, and another thing is that reception should be able to add the patient here who are being admitted to the hospital. So I have not included the listing for the patient here because I have not integrated with this application. I have not connected with database and it is fetching the patient from the database. So these are the things that we'll do on our application, so don't worry. So remember, if you haven't subscribed to this video, to this channel, kindly subscribe, and if you haven't liked this video, kindly like this video so that it may reach so many people. So you already know what is coming. Let's get into the tutorial. So guys, in the last video, we looked at these modules here. I created this diagram to illustrate our modules. So here, we built on this patient module here. So today we are going to look at reception module here, and I didn't create the diagram for the module for the reception. So the reception should reside here also as a module. So let me add the diagram here. So I forgot to add that. So here we have reception here, and this is one of the modules that we are going to create today. So we will be having these 5 modules here: the patient, the doctor, the finance, admin, and reception. But we have already created the patient module in this application. So let's look at how we'll be adding the module for the reception. And to add modules, I have already done this in the last video. Just come here and look for modules or easy loading modules in Angular. So in the documentation, you'll see all the commands that you should run in order to create the module, and you should click on this or copy this so that it will include for the routing, because you need routing in order for your Angular to know where to route for that module. So copy this, and then in our terminal here down, we just look for that terminal. Inside you can just paste that, and then here we need a module called reception, not a customer. So we just have this reception here as a module, and also that is route, and also our module here should be reception, just like that, and then let it generate so that we have a module called reception, and also it should include the routing for this module. So let it generate. It should take as shortest time as possible. So after that, now we can just check in our code here if we have that module generated. So it's taking time, so let's give it time. So it's just here. So we can close on this side nav here. So we created here, and also we can close on this patient module here, since we won't be using it at this video. So if you look here, we have already generated this reception module here, and also you can see the routing here. You can see we have this routing here, and this one is reception routing here. So if you come here in your app.module app-routing.module.ts, you can see they have included, that command have included the routing for this module reception here. So let's start by looking at this reception now. You can just come here. So if you come here in our application and then try to now to access the routing for reception here, it will just redirect you to the reception module that we have created. So you can see, now we can see this reception component here. And remember, in this video, I showed you how lazy loading work because we are using lazy loading. So now, if you haven't gone through this video, just kindly go back and look at this feature that I explained in this diagram here. So now we'll start coding from here and create something that looks like this. So first of all, let's start by creating this here, this navbar here, or this top bar here. So first thing, as usual, we just come in our code here. Let me first of all come here, and then we can create a div here, and this div will give it a class of container, just like that. And now inside here we'll create another div, and this div will call it navigation here, just like that. That is okay. So now inside here we'll have several spans. So if we look at the application that I have already created, you can see we'll have patient, doctor, and then we'll have this span that is telling you you're welcome and then your name. So just come here, look, add the span for the patients here, and again we'll have another span for the doctors here. The other thing is that we'll have another span, and this one will say welcome Jane Doe. Of course, this will change when we integrate with our backend and fetch the data from our backend. So the other thing is span for logout, this one here. So of course we'll add this icon here, So to add that, you already know you need to import this font awesome module in a reception module. So let's add this font awesome module. You can see there is auto completion for us, so we can just add it like that, and then we can add in our component, let's add the icon. And to add the icon, we can choose this one, or we can copy this one from our patient navbar, because I don't want to type everything to save on some time. So copy this, come here, copy this, and then let's close that and close this patient module. Inside here in our reception component, just paste the code. So I just want to remove everything and leave, I want to be left with this user icon, and then we'll just initialize it here. So for user, and then fa user again here, that is initialization. And again, I remembered we need to copy the code that we should include in the HTML. So we just copy the same we did. So we just copy this one here, because to use it you need this here, this tag icon. So let's close again and come here in our HTML, and before that we need to have this, and this one should include fa user here, because that's what we initialize it in our component here. So let's see how it will be looking. So I think it should reload. Let's see if it have saved. So now that's okay. So after it has loaded, we can see even the icon here. So the first thing that I want to do is now to style it. So just come here, and the first thing that I need to style is container here. So we'll have this container, we'll give it a margin of 30 pixels. and again we need it to give it a background color that is EB, ED, and then we'll have F9, this one here, and I forgot to add this hash there, so we need that color there. So another thing, now we need to include the navigation, or to style the navigation here, and this navigation we say display flex, just like that, and then align items center, and then justify content to be spaced evenly. I think that would be okay. Let's see how it will look like. So let's see how good it will look. So now I need to add some padding on this navigation or this container here. Let me add height, not padding. So I can add height and give it a height of 70 pixels, and let's see how it will look now. So I think that's okay, but we need to give the margin to the navigation. So let's give a margin top of, let's say, 20 pixels, or we can give 35 or 30 so that it align on the center. So another thing that we can add is font size of 15 pixels, and the font weight, let's add font weight to have font weight of 900, just like that. Again, let's see how it will look. So let it load, and you can see how it looks like. So we can style the span directory. So we can try to add the padding rather than margin and see if it will affect our navigation. So you can see we have that styled there. So I think it looks almost the same. So but I can just reduce the space, and maybe I can say space evenly. Let's say space between that one, and let's see if it will help us reduce this one here. Okay, it's not doing anything, or it is even worsening. So what I'll do, I'll just type the span directory. So let's say navigation, and then style the span. Then in the span, I'll give margin right here, and then give 20 pixels, or I can say 30 pixels or 40. So let's save it and see how it will look like. I think that would be okay. So we can add that, or even we can just add by giving it around 70 pixels or 60 to give some space. And we'll also style this icon so that we can give it a higher font size. So let's style that. So we can even add we can add here a margin right, first of all, to give some, or margin left here, because I don't want the name patient to be at the edge here. So let's see how it will look. So that's okay. So now I need to style this icon. So in our icon here, what we can do, we can just target this icon. Already it has a class, so let's use the class. So we can add this icon here and then style it. We can give it a font size of, let's say, 50 pixels. I think that would be okay, and that's okay. And then let's add margin of 20 pixels. I think that's now will be okay. So let's see how it will look like. So you can see it has not styled the way we wanted. So let me remove this margin here. I can give margin right, this one here. I think that would be okay now. So let's see. That's not working well. So let's first of all remove this. And another thing we can do is that we can give it a font size of 20 pixels and see how it will look like. It is behaving this way because we are having the align item center. So if it is taking a lot of space and it is moving out of this top bar here, then everything moves out of this top bar here. So now I want to add the cursor to be pointer here at our logout. So let's come here and then we can add this dot navigation and then span, and then we'll target the last span because that one is the one that we want. So we just say last child, and then we can say cursor pointer, and again we can say font size or font weight to be 900, and we can even add the font size to have a font size of 20 pixels, just like that, and see how it will look like. So let us see now how it will look like. So we can see it is a little big, large. So let's remove this, we don't need it actually. So let's see now how it will look like. So I leave at that so that the reception can click here and log out of that application. So the other thing that we need to include now is this header here, and we'll be calling patient header, and then we'll have this for adding, and then this input here. So let's go back here. So the first thing that we need to add in our HTML here is patient header. So we'll add div and then call it patient header here, just like that. And now we can have spans. So what we can do, let me create one and then copy and paste. So this one, actually let me copy these ones here so that I don't go back and forth to confirm on these names. So just come here and paste these names here. So the first one is span, or is the name, and now we can copy and paste, copy, and then we can paste here, and then this one should be location. This one is location. The other one here is room admitted, or the room that patient will be admitted, room admitted. This one is admission number, so admission number, and then ID number of the patient. It can be security number also, and then we can have status. This is the status for the patient here. So just like that, and again let's remove this here, and let me format it first of all to remove on extra spaces. So after that, now we need to go and style this one here. So we can just copy this, copy it, and then in our CSS now we can select the class, and then what we can do, we can say display flex here, and then justify content to be spaced evenly, and then let's see how it will look like. So it should give us some good results. So we can add it just like this, and even we can just limit the space and add max width here to be 1024 pixels, just like that. And then margin, we can give a margin of, let's say, 20 pixels. Let's see and how it will look now. So I don't want it to be very big here, so I just want it to look like this. And then the other thing that we can add is now font weight. We can add font weight of 900, just like that, because it will be headers or it will be columns. So I think that's okay. So the other thing that we need now is to add this one here, or this add patient here. So let's come here, and actually I'm seeing that we have this this patient is we can push it inside a little bit. So I can just come here, and in our span here, what I can do, we can say navigation, and like we did with our last child, we can target our first child, and then give it a margin left of, let's say, 50 pixels, just like that. And then let's see how it will look. So it is pushing inside. So let's add and give it maybe 100. So just like that, and then see how it will look like. So we can leave it to start there, or we can push it inside. So the other thing is now this one for adding patient here. So what we'll do, we just add the, here in our HTML, what we'll do, we'll add this here, this div, and we call it add patient, just like that. And the first thing that we need is the icon. So I just copy this here and paste it down here. And again, we need to add this icon for adding. So let's come here in our component here, and then search for add fa add, just like that. You need this fa add, it actually like this one. So I can't see it right here. I think it is this one, fa add, and then let's initialize it as fa add, and then give it fa add. So initialize it here, fa add, just like that. And then let's add it in our HTML here. So fa add, like that. And then we'll have a span that we call it, or we add a text called add patient there. So let's see how it will look like. So let's see. So we can see we have this, actually this one, this is not the icon that I wanted, but let's first of all style it. So we can remove this class here. I'll call it add icon here. So let's go in our CSS, and in our CSS scroll down, and then here we can add patient here. So now we can say display flex, and then we need to flex, to give a flex justify content, and then let's say flex end, just like that. And then let's see, we can give a font weight also for 900, and then let's see how it will look like. So you can see where it has placed itself. So now what we need to do, we can give a margin right, and margin right we can give 100 pixels, so that it is being pushed inside here. So now that's okay. I think that is looking great. So let's actually push it inside a little bit. So let's see. So let's add it. Let's look how it will look like. So we have this one here, but now we need the icon, this icon here, this icon. I need this plus icon here, and we can give a color here. First of all, we can give a color that is our background color. Let's say a color, and add a color of okay, let me first of all add for the span, add a patient and then target span, and I will give it a color of orange. So FD or D1411E, that is the color that I want to add. So also I will target this icon for, so I just say add icon, this one, and I will give that the same color. So I just copy it like that and then paste it inside here. So let's come here in our component and try and find the add plus the plus icon. So it should be FA add. So let's add this one here. I need this one. So it should be like that, and it's giving me error. So it is telling me to import. So let's add this. Let's look again if we can find it. So FA here, and we want to have this FA add. So I can't see it. So first of all, let me confirm it and then we'll continue with this video. So I have tried to confirm for this add icon here, or the plus icon, and it is not working. So I won't just bother with that right now. So let's just go forward, and then we just come back and see what the problem is after we have done everything. So now we just see how the application will look like. So you can see here how it is looking. So now the other thing that I need to do is to add the font size for this icon. So in our CSS here, and also I'll just give a margin right. First of all, you need to have a margin right of, let's say, 10 pixels for this icon. And again, I need to add font size, and we give a font size of 20 pixels. So let's see how it will look like. So that's okay. I think that's okay. And now the other thing that we need to have this thing for the patient here, and then down here we should have a pagination. So let's add here a patient body, or whatever you want to call it. So I'll have a div here, and this time I'll call it patient body, just like that. And then I will add these pants here because it will have the same column. So copy this and then paste there. So the name here, we'll call it Jane Doe, the first patient, and we can give the location like Texas, something of the sort. Room admitted, we can add anything here, and we can add the admission number. Admission number also can be anything, so we can add something like that. So the ID number can be anything. I'll just add anything here. And now the status here, we'll add it to be good, just like that. And actually what I will do, I'll just add another div inside here. So because we need to use this patient body to style everything, and so this one I'll call it patient item. So patient item, just like that. So copy this one here. So I just copy it and then paste inside here. And because we need several patients, we can just copy it, or we can just copy it and then paste like 3 patient or 4, or let's say add 5 here. And then I want to format because I don't want the way it looks, so that's okay. So let's see how it will look like. So now you can see we need now to give the styling. So the first thing that we need here is this patient body here. So copy it, and now we need to style it here. So scroll down and then add the class, and then what I'll add is first of all max width to be 1024 pixels, just like we did with our patient header. The other thing is we can have a patient item here, and we can say display flex, or we can even just copy like we did with the patient header here. So we can copy everything here just like that, copy, and then we can paste it here, but we need to remove this here, or we can leave it there, it's okay. So the other thing is we need to remove this font weight here, and thing that we can add is font size to be 20 pixels, just like that. Let's see how it will look like. So let's let it load. So you can see how it is looking. I think it is looking great, but the font size is so big. So let's reduce the font size. So we can give a font size of, let's say, 16, and let's see how it will look like. So after it loads, you can see now we have that, and you can see it is looking great. So now the other thing that we need to have pagination down here. So we have added pagination to the other module, the patient, so we'll just use it to save on some time. So let's first of all add here, or import this ngx pagination module, because we need it in order to use that pagination functionality. So we'll just open here, and because here in our home we need, in our patient module in our home we have used the pagination, we just copy everything. And if you're not understanding and you haven't gone through day 3, just go through day 3, you'll understand what I'm doing. So copy this and then add it here in our reception component here. Add this pagination and the collection here. The other thing that you need is to you need to have this looping here. So just copy everything from here and up to here. So copy that. So let's go back in our HTML, in our reception, and here in our patient body we should add that. And again we need the last thing, that is pagination control. So let's come here, and in our component, in our HTML here, in our patient home HTML, just copy this pagination control here. So copy it, and since we don't want to copy any other thing, so close that. And then here in our HTML down here, so after you have already done this looping, now paste that pagination control. So we need to style this pagination using this pagination class here. But first of all, let's see how it will appear, or how it will look like. So I think it has loaded now. So you can see here at the bottom here we have this pagination, but already it is deactivated. We cannot move to the other page. We'll activate it when we be having the integration with our backend. So what we need to do, first of all, we need to center it. So come here in our page, in our CSS, and then style the pagination. So it's just a pagination, and then we do display flex, and then I'll just add align items to be center, and then justify content to be center because we want to center it. So let's see how it will look now. So let's it load, and you can see where it is appearing. So now if we want to activate it, we can do a couple of things so that you can see it. So you can just come here in our items per page, and then I'll just include one here, or even 0. I guess 0 will be okay. And then let's see if it has been activated. So you can understand now. You can see it here, and actually it is activated. So it cannot work well since we have no real data there. So let me add this reception here. So now, let me just give the number it had. So just like that, and then maybe we can add here in our component, we can add another element here in our array. Since it is using this collection array here, this collection will just replace it with our data that will be coming from our database. So let's see now if it is working correct. So you can see it is activated here. So that's what I wanted to show you. And actually another thing that we can do, we can come here in our CSS and we can add here a font weight and give the font weight to be bold, just bold. I think that would be okay. And then let's save and see how it will look like. So save it, and now you can see how it look like. So now it is visible. So but we'll be using that after we have integrated with our backend. So hang in there, we have a long journey to go, but it will be worth it. So the other thing that I want to add is that when you click here, it should open this model here from this right side. So and then you can close and it disappears. So you just open when you click at add patient, and then you close when you click on that close button there. So to do that, first of all, what we need to do inside here, we need to have we already have this container here, and this container wraps everything inside here. So what we'll do, we'll just come here in our CSS. First of all, give it a position relative because we need to create an overlay. So give it a position of relative, and now inside here or outside the container, now we can add this div and we'll call the class add patient, just like that. And now let's style this in order for you to understand. So I just copy this, and inside here in our CSS, we just scroll down and add this class add patient, this one here. Actually I think I have had that, so I will call it another class name or different class name since I remembered we have this. So what we can call this is that we can call this, let's add add patient and then model, or add patient or add model. That would be okay. So you can code anything that you like. So let's copy that, and here in our CSS now we can add that add model class, just like that. And then what we just do, we just say it is position absolute to give our overlay, and then we need to add the top 0 pixel or 0, and then we can add either right or left and give it 0. We need to have a height of 100 VH and a width. We should have a width of 100 W or VW, just like that. And then we need to have a background color, and we just give this background color that is almost transparent, and we can give that to be 0, meaning black. This one 0 also, this 0, and again our transparency, we can set it, and it can vary from 1 point something to 1. That is the transparency variation that is. So let's save this and see how it will look like. So after that, let's see how it will look like. So we'll have this overlay. So I can't see the overlay here. So let's see where the problem is. What we can do now, let's come here in our CSS and add this overlay to 5 and see if we can see it, because we need to see it there. So we can just save this here, and let's see if we can see the overlay. So I can't see the overlay, and this means that somewhere we have a problem. Actually, I'm on another tab, that's why I can't see it. So you can see we have this overlay here. I was just looking at this one, and that is my mistake. Sorry for that. So what I will do, I will just go back and give an overlay, a transparency of 0.1. That will look okay. So let's see how this one look like. You see, you can have that overlay, and if we give 0, you can see it will be transparent, completely transparent, and it will, you can't notice anything. That's why we're adding a transparency of 0.1, or let's give a 0.2 transparency. So just like that, I think that would be okay. So the other thing is to add that, the other thing we need to add is this here, or this adding inputs here. So before I do that, I even forgot we had this input here. So let's first of all create this. So I'll just give this a display of none, so that we don't see it right now until we add that input. So let's see. So if you just remove that, we just give a display of none, and it will show it. So the other thing that we need to add now, remember we need to have this search here after the adding here. So in our HTML here, after the adding, after this adding here, we need to have an input. So we just call this div.search, and I'll just call this div search, a class of search, and then inside here I can give it an input just like that, and then a placeholder. The placeholder will just say search patient by admission number, just like that. And now let's style it. So copy this search, and then inside here in our class, so target that search, and then you just say display flex. I want to center it, so align items center, and again justify content to be center again. So let's see how it will look like. So let's see, after it loads, you can see we have this search patient here. So the other thing that you need to do is to target the input. So I just say search and then input here, and I can give a width of, let's say, 250 pixels, or let's add even 300 or 350 pixels. And the other thing is we can give a padding of, let's say, 5 pixels, and see how it will look like. So we can just let it load, and then we can see we have this search here. We can add the length or the width. Let's add it to be 450. I think that now will be okay. So let it load. Yes, and you can see we have this search here. We can add margin. We can give a margin of 10 pixels to give some space. So let's see now. Yeah, we have now that space. So now I just want now to continue with what we were doing. So I can just, to be organized, I need to cut that styling here and bring it here after this add patient span here, so that you can search it very easily when you want to style another thing there. So now we can now remove this display rex. So no, I need to do, let me undo everything because I did some mistake. So you can just copy or cut everything here, and then here at add patient and then span, now we can add those two styling there, and now we can remove this display none there, just like that, and then let's see how it will look like. So yeah, we now have this overlay here. So the other thing that we need to add is the adding inputs. So just come inside here, and then we can say div dot add. Now we can say add container, or we can say add item. That would be okay. And then now we can have this here. We can have this name, email, resident, all this, and I just want to copy them because I don't want to just coming back, going forward and back to confirm these names. So let me paste it here so that it will be easier for me. So let's see how it will look like. And so you can see we have name, input, what, just like that. So now let's add by adding a label, because this label is the one that is holding the head, that is like name, and then after that we have an input. We have this input there, and again we can have label, and actually I can just copy and then paste several times. So let's see. So it is not working, I don't know why. So copy and then paste it, paste again and paste again. So this time this is an email and resident area here, resident area, and again this one here is room number, and we have this here as admission number. So the other thing we need to have is we need to have an ID or security number, if you want to call it that way. So that there, and again I need to have a button for submitting. So we have that, and I will call this submit. That button will give it class of submit, and I'll just add this as submit, just like that. And again let me format. So I need to format this just like that. So let us save and then remove this here. Let me remove these names here. So now let's save, and again I need now to style this add here. I just copy it inside here. Let me format this one here because I have a lot of extra spaces that I created. So now scroll down, and again let me add that. Now we can have this as position absolute also, because I want to place it on this right side. So again we can add the height, and I just want it to have a height of 100 VH, and a width, I need to have a width of, let's say, 30%. I can add 30% there, and a background color of white, like that. And then let's see if we can see it. So you can see it is appearing on this left side, but I want it to have to appear on the right side. So I just say top 0, and then I just add right 0, just like that. And let's see now if it will appear on the left side. So yeah, you can see we have this here. So now the other thing that we need to do is to add a display flex. Let's add display flex, and then flex direction to be column, and I want to align items to be center, just like that. And I think that's okay. Let's see how it will look like. So after that, let it load. So yeah, you can see we have this one here. And actually what we can do, let's confirm how it looks like. So we have this here. So we have this one here. So actually I think I will give this like as a div, separate div. So here inside our HTML, in order to style it, we can give a div. We just give a div here, and we'll call this an input. Yeah, an input item, actually input item. So we have this 1 2 3 4 5 6. So let's copy this and paste it, and then we'll add this one, this label and input inside them. So let me add that, and then I think that's okay. It is 1 2 3 4 5. Need one more, so let me add it there. So now we need to cut this and add it inside this here, because I don't want it to give us a lot of work. So there, this one here also need to cut it and add it inside here. So just like that, and then again this one here, let me cut it and then add it inside here, link here. Yes. So the other thing is to cut this and paste it inside here, just like here. So the other thing, this one here, cut it and then add it inside here, just like that. So the last one now, this one here, need to add it here. So just like that, and then I think that's okay now. So let me format it. So format the code, and then now let's see how it will look like. So let's see. So we can see it there, just there, and then now we can target the input item in our CSS. So in our CSS, let me style this input item, and here you can say display flex, and then flex direction to be column, just like that. And again now, then first of all, see how it will look like. So now you can see how it is looking. It is looking great. So now even we can give some space, and to give some space we can add a margin of 20 pixels, and for me, let me style again the input item and label and let's add a font weight of 900, and again let's see how it will look like. So let's see. So we have this. I think that margin is big, so let me add 10 pixels there. And now we need to come here and target the input. So I can just target the input, and I can give it a width of, let's say, 300 pixels and a padding of, let's say, 5 pixels or something of the sort, 5 pixels. I think that would be okay. So let's see how it will look like. So yeah, you can see that's looking great. So the other thing is that we need to add up here in top here, we need to have a top, this one here, that is adding patient, and this button here, and then we need to give this the color. So it can just come here before this item here, add item here. After that we can add this one here, and we call this add header, just like that. This one here, the first one is a span, and it is add patient, just like that. And the other one here is a button, and this button we just call it close, and then it will have a text of close. So now we can even target this one here, add header. So copy this one. So in our CSS here, let's just here add this class here, and then we can say margin. We can add a margin of 20 pixels, and again we can say display flex, and then we can add font size to be 20 pixels, and actually here we can add align items to be center, and then we can just say justify content to be space between, and font weight can have a font weight of 900, just like that, and then that's okay. And again I need to target the button, so let me target the button. And to target the button, we can say the background color to be red, this one, and then border none, of course it should have none border, and then we can add here a padding. Let's add a padding of, let's say, 7 pixels, and color to be white, that is, and then cursor pointer, just like that. Let's see how it will look like. So it is inside here, so you can see we have this here, and actually we forgot to add font weight to be 900, and again we can give margin left to be, let me add 100 pixels, just like that. So let's see how it will look. So you can see we have this one. Now we are left with this button, so let's target the button down there. So inside here we can say, now we need to target from this add header. Now add item here, we can just target it using the class submit, just like that. And then what we need, we can give a width of, let's say I'll give the width the same as this input, so I'll just add 300 pixels, and again here I need to give a padding of 10 pixels, and I need to remove the border, so I'll just say border none. Cursor should be pointer, cursor pointer. And the other thing that I need to add, I think now for that is okay. Okay, for now, let's see how it will look like. So, but remember, I just want this color, this bluish color here. So what I just do, first of all, let me just reduce the padding here, because inside here you can see the padding is small, and inside here what we can do, now we can just remove that and see how it will look like. So let's first of all remove the padding. So you can see we have that padding there. It's small, but it's okay. So now I need this color, and I don't know this color of head. So what we'll do, we just open in our patient here, because I know in our side nav here we used it. So just look for that bluish color, and I think it's somewhere here, or it is in our component and then home. You can just check it here. Yes, this one. So let's copy it, close the component, and let's add it here. We can add the background color, and then add it there. And then we need to remove the border here and give a border of none, and then color should be a color of white, just like that. Let me now format. If we format now and then let it load again, so you can see we have this here, beautiful one. And then we can give a margin, also margin top, and give a margin top of 20 pixels. So let's see how it will look like. So I think that's okay now, actually. And then the last thing is we can add font weight to be 900. So I think that's okay now. That's okay. So the other thing, we need now to activate this button to close and toggle this one. So the first thing that we need to do that is that we need to add here a variable, and that variable we can call it close, and we can say it's a boolean, and we can give it a value of false first of all. So and then we'll have a method here, and we call it show add, this one here. And then we just say this dot close should be equals to opposite of this dot close, meaning it will just toggle our variable here. It will just, if it is true, it will be toggled to false, and if it is false, it will be toggled to true. So now the other thing that I want to do is to show this add model conditionally using that variable that we have added in our component. So I'll just add this directive ngIf, and now we can give it this close there. And now we can now add this here, the function. So add the event click. So when somebody clicks, it will just call that show add function or a method, just like that. The same with, I'll just copy this. So this one here, copy it, and then up there in our add patient here, we need to add this click event and then that function. So let's close and see if it will work. So let's let it load. So you can see at first we don't have the model open, but when we click here, you can see we have that model opening. If we click again, it is hidden. You can click, it is open. You click, it is hidden. So the other thing that I need to add here is the cursor pointer, because we need to give this as cursor pointer, because I can see we don't have cursor pointer, and that is important to tell the reception that this is clickable. So now in our CSS here, just scroll up, and here add patient, look for add patient, and here add patient, we can add cursor pointer just like that, and that's okay now. So let's see if it loads. Now you can see we have that. That's it's looking great, and now I think that's okay. So I'll just confirm for this add icon here, a plus icon, because I am not able to see, or I'm not sure why it is not working. I've tried, so let's see if it by the next video I will have figured it. I will be having it in the next video. So that's okay. Now patient can have somewhere, or the reception can have somewhere that they can add the data for the patient and then submit to be added to our database. So that's what I wanted to cover in this video. If you haven't subscribed, kindly remember to subscribe, like this video, and then I'll see you in the day 5 of this full stack modern hospital management system. See you in the next video.